Yeah, here we go. So as I said, we're talking about creative PR, and sometimes those ready-made news stories do come along if we're expanding, if we're opening new premises, if we are, we've won some new funding or something like that. But a lot of the time we've got to create that PR for ourselves. We've got to come up with ideas to reach more people, to get people talking about our business, and to pique people's interests. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll look at some ways to do that. Let me just have a look here. I'm going to try and check back for any questions or anything like that. But I've got a few different screens going on here. So I will probably just check from time to time or at the end. So I'm going to run through 7 or 8 creative PR ideas, which hopefully you'll find useful. One way to start is events and or stunts. Basically making a spectacle of yourself in the nicest possible way. So doing something that attracts attention to your business or to you, whatever you want to. So for example, it might be that you run a clothing brand and you decide to run a fashion show in the middle of Buchanan Street one day, or maybe you dress the Duke of Wellington statue in some of your clothes and you're, to attract attention, obviously leaving the cone on the head, which is essential. So it's about thinking, how can I get all eyes on my business when you're doing these kinds of events and stunts? And they can be super effective, especially through social media. And a lot of the time when we get a buzz around our business on social, it can actually end up becoming a media story in itself. The second sort of idea is thinking about personal achievements by you as a business owner, which can also reflect well on your business. So it might be that you are a personal trainer and you set yourself some sort of training goal or challenge. So maybe to run like 30 marathons in 30 days or something like that. Something that will be a big enough sort of challenge that attracts attention, that is related to your area of business, and that will help shine a positive light on your business. So, if you were a personal trainer and you did the 30 marathons in 30 days, then, and if you did it for a cause that you believed in, and that was, you had an authentic link to, then that would be a very, very positive story. It would show a lot about you as a person, which again would attract people to you as a business owner. And it would reflect very, very well on your business. Number 3 is also business achievements. So you can come up with like quirky business ideas. So as I said before, we have like our business milestones, our business achievements that come up, throughout our sort of business calendar, which might be PR worthy in themselves. But for this, I'm talking about things like fun ideas. So creating something interesting that makes people think about your business and share it with others and talk about it. So maybe you run a bakery and you've created a never seen before cake that everyone's desperate to try. Maybe it's got an ingredient in it that no one's ever put in a cake before. Or maybe you bake bread in the shape of Elvis that gets everyone talking. I'm talking about these kind of like quirky business ideas. Let me just check in if I can see if anybody's asked anything. Cool. So these 3 are really, really helpful. The next one is awards. Now, awards can be a great source of PR. Like entering awards means that you can generate PR, mainly local PR, depending on what scale of award it is. Obviously there's local awards, there's like business specific awards or sector specific awards, then there's national awards, but basically entering awards means that you can generate local PR if you're shortlisted as a finalist sometimes, and also you can always generate really, really good PR if you're an eventual winner, especially if it's an awards scheme that's got a lot of profile about it anyway. Plus, there's usually amazing networking opportunities. If you are a finalist and you end up going to the awards ceremony, then the networking opportunities can usually work out really well on the night as well. Now, some award, they do charge for entries now, but there are still some free ones. So you just have to search and find the ones that you think are most suited to you. And I guess my advice around awards would be, don't just enter loads just for the sake of it. Because it does take up a lot of time entering awards. And that's why some businesses hire people like me to put together their award applications and entries for them. So I think when you're kind of short on time and you've got 1,000,001 other things to do, it's really best to focus on a smaller number of awards that you think you've got a really good chance at winning, and put your time into those rather than just trying to, you know, half-heartedly go and enter as many awards as you possibly can. The next one is awareness days and awareness campaigns. So tapping into awareness days, national campaigns can be an excellent way of generating PR. So I worked with a CBD company last year. We planned some press activity specifically around Menopause Awareness Month because that was their niche target market. And we used a customer case study, and it all tied in so well, and we got great media coverage around it because it was relevant, it was topical. We had that human interest story with the customer sharing her experience of going through menopause and then how this CBD product had helped her. So it was relatable, it had a very sort of natural tie-in, and it all made sense. So awareness days and campaigns can be really, really effective for PR, and there's endless amounts of them for all kinds of obscure things. You can even have a look at, I think it's awarenessdays.com, and you can go through each month and they give you a big list of what awareness days exist, and you can start to pull out some that might be relevant to your business, and then start to plan sort of how you can tap into some of the buzz around these days and create a media story that links into it and makes sense and is very sort of authentic. The only downside, I would say, to awareness days is that often the media can be saturated with the same kind of content. So it's about picking the ones that you've got the best chance at sort of getting involved in. So if you think about like World Mental Health Day, that is a huge PR buzz about it, and it's something that people build up to for weeks and months. Same with International Women's Day, and a lot of the time there's so much content around these days that yours can be overlooked. And that's not to say don't try. It depends on the strength of what you're trying to say, how it ties in with those particular themes. And it can be super effective if it's planned and executed well, even on these busy awareness days. But some of the obscure ones can work really well as well. So it's just about having some fun with it. Look at what days might tie into your business or your messaging, and then just letting your creative juices flow and see what ideas you can come up with. Charity collaborations are another one. This is number 6. So again, partnering with charities can be a very, very effective PR tool, but only if there's an authentic angle to it. So it's got to feel authentic, natural, organic. If there's not that authentic connection between you or your business and the charity that you're going to be working with, then it won't make sense to people and it won't hit, it won't have the impact. So for example, say you're a coach that coaches around something that you've struggled with yourself in the past, then maybe you might want to share your own story through working with a charity and why you now do what you do, what helped you, and why you now help others with the same thing. So it all ties in with the work that the charity does, the work that you do, and your past experience. Or, you know, there might be a personal link to a charity that's also beneficial for your business. So I'm working with a client right now who is about to be announced as an ambassador of a charity because of some of the things he went through in his past, but also because it relates to the business that he runs, the sector that he's in, and it means that there's that authentic connection to his business as well. So it's beneficial not just for him as a personal brand, I guess you could say, but also for the business brand as well. So a lot of the time, like, partnering with charities can involve sharing your own story. It can involve supporting an event with gifts or in-kind support. It can involve being involved in organising an event or an activity to raise funds for a specific charity, or co-organising an event with a charity. There's lots of different ways that you can collaborate with charities, and they can be very, very effective PR tools, because charities tend to be very credible, and they also tend to they tend to have like quite a well-established media relations, certainly some of the bigger charities, and generally the content that they send out to media is well received and positively received. So as businesses, we can often benefit from that as well. Actually, on that point, we can also, you know, collaborate with other businesses as well, which I guess we could add in here as well, which is, you know, we can generate PR through, you know, synergies. Maybe there's nice media stories about why we've partnered up together as businesses. It's kind of like bringing two heads into the mix and double the chance of success, I guess you could say. So, you know, in the same way that we're thinking about charity collaborations, we can also partner with other businesses to come up with events or offerings, products that actually could have a nice PR element to them as well, based on our stories and our reason for delivering. So the seventh way is user-generated content. So basically thinking about customer stories. So like I said with the CBD example, having clients sharing their own story of how your product helped them can be super effective, because people are out there who feel the same way as they do, and to read or listen to someone saying how they felt and what helped them can really resonate with people. So the thing with this is, though, it has to be done in a very smart way. So it's got to be more about the client, it's got to be more about the customer, and it can't be a blatant advert for your business, because the media will they just won't use it if it feels too commercial, if it feels too much like advertising. So it's got to be massively focused on the human story, the person, what they're sharing, but give a nod to your business as part of it all. So it has to just be handled with care and a little bit of thought, but it absolutely can be done. And actually, one final way, which probably strikes fear into the heart of most people, but some people would basically, it'll strike excitement into them, TV. So I've got a client right now who went on Dragon's Den earlier this year. She had some amazing PR out of it, amazing business boost as well in terms of revenue, sales. It did help that she did really well on the show, but there are TV opportunities out there, whether it's you know, there's documentary style shows, there's, you know, business funding shows, you know, there's you know, for example, if you ran like a hair salon or maybe even a restaurant, there's always production companies that are looking out for like behind the scenes, you know, real life sort of documentary style shows to cover that show real people in their real work environment and create characters out of it. So they're not for the faint-hearted, these kind of TV opportunities, but again, they can work super well for some businesses. So yeah, that's my main suggestions around the type of creative PR we can do. And it's just a little taster to hopefully get some creative ideas flowing for you for your own business. You know, you can really have some fun with it. And the key things, I guess, to remember with creative PR are, you know, if you're pushing yourself or your business out in this way, it has to be done carefully and positively. So especially if we're thinking about stunts or events, we have to consider it from all angles. You know, let's think of what any potential downsides might be, and only proceed if we can't see any sort of major negatives, major red flags on the horizon and the way people might view what you're doing. So the thing with creative PR is most likely you rule out a whole load of ideas before you land on the one that you actually run with in the end. The second really, really important thing is to make it authentic. You know, it's really so much better not to try and force a connection or a link to an awareness day, a charity, or a customer story where it's not really there, because the media and people in general just see right through it. Keep it authentic, keep it organic and natural, and don't try and force it, because but coming up with ways to shout about our business is so fun, and it can have like really, really positive results. So I hope you found this useful. The next time I'm here in September, I'm going to be talking about how to write a press release to make it as eye-catching, as interesting and informative as possible. And in the meantime, if you want to discuss anything to do with your business and PR and get some advice, I'll put a link in the comments, because I've got a little PR power hour that I offer where we can, go through your business, go through your messages, come up with a little bit of a PR plan on the call for you to take away and get started on. And yeah, I'll put the link in for that so you can have a little look and give me a shout if it's of interest. So until then, until the next time, have a good few weeks, and I shall see you very, very soon.